Hello everyone, welcome to today's story. A tale full of emotion, surprise, and choices that change everything. Tonight, we uncover the moment when CEO Alex was shocked, not by business rivals or corporate betrayal, but by love itself. Lytuna, the woman who had stood by him through every hardship, gave him two things that would change his life forever: a folded shirt and a small pregnancy test wrapped in silk. Was it a symbol of new beginnings, or the spark that would ignite another storm in Alex's already chaotic world? Why did Lytuna choose that exact moment to reveal it? Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and help us reach 10,000 followers, so you won't miss the next episodes filled with tears, hope, and redemption. Now, let's dive into the story, where one simple gift can rewrite the fate of a family. It was a quiet afternoon when Alex returned home from the company. The golden light of sunset streamed through the curtains, casting warm shadows across the small living room. He had just finished a long meeting about a new investment plan. Yet his mind kept wandering to Lytuna, her smile, her laughter, and the way she always waited for him no matter how late it was. When he opened the door, the scent of jasmine tea filled the air. Lytuna stood by the table, her hands trembling slightly as she arranged something inside a small white box. Her face was calm, but her eyes shimmered with emotion. "You're home," she said softly, forcing a smile. Alex walked closer, noticing the box wrapped in delicate ribbon. "What's this? A gift?" he asked, half teasing. Lytuna nodded, her voice almost a whisper. "Yes, something important. For you." Alex unwrapped it slowly. Inside was a crisp, neatly folded shirt, pale blue, the color she once said made his eyes look kind. But beneath the shirt lay something that froze him in place. A small white stick with two faint pink lines. His breath caught. "Lytuna, is this?" She looked down, her voice trembling. "Yes, Alex, I'm pregnant." For a moment, the world fell silent. The clock ticked faintly in the background, the tea steam rising between them like fragile hope. Alex's hand shook as he lifted the test, his mind racing. Pregnant. The word echoed through his chest, fear, joy, disbelief all tangled together. Lytuna stepped closer, tears welling in her eyes. "I didn't know how to tell you. I wanted to wait until you were ready. But when I saw you so tired lately, I realized there's no perfect time. I just want us to face it together." Alex looked at her, unable to speak. In his chest, 1,000 emotions clashed. Joy that he would be a father, guilt for the sleepless night she endured alone, and fear of how his mother would react. He finally whispered, voice trembling, "Lytuna, you've given me the most precious gift of my life." She smiled faintly, wiping her tears. "So, are you happy?" Alex stepped forward, pulling her into his arms. "More than happy. I'm terrified, but I'm grateful." Behind them, the last rays of sunlight melted into night, sealing this moment of love, fear, and hope. The beginning of a new chapter neither of them could have imagined. That night, Alex couldn't sleep. The sound of the clock ticking on the wall seemed louder than usual, echoing in the quiet room. Lytuna lay peacefully beside him, her hand resting on her belly, as if already protecting the little life inside. The sight filled him with both warmth and fear. He got up quietly and walked to the window. Outside, the city lights shimmered like a distant galaxy. But for the first time in years, Alex, The CEO, who once ruled boardrooms and made billion-dollar decisions, felt completely uncertain. He turned and looked at Tuna again. "A father," he whispered to himself. The words felt foreign, heavy, yet strangely beautiful. Just then, his phone buzzed. It was a message from his mother, Mrs. Min. "I heard you didn't attend the family dinner. We need to talk, urgently." His chest tightened. He knew what it meant. Rumors traveled fast, even faster than truth. And if Mrs. Min had heard even a whisper about Tuna's pregnancy, there would be no peace tonight. The next morning, Alex drove to the mansion. The marble floors gleamed. The air smelled faintly of roses and authority. His mother was waiting in the living room, dressed impeccably, a cup of untouched tea on the table before her. "Sit," she said coldly. Alex obeyed, his heartbeat thundering in his ears. Mrs. Min looked at him sharply. "I heard something unbelievable yesterday. Is it true that that woman is pregnant?" Alex clenched his fists. "Mother, her name is Tuna, and yes, she's having my child." The sound of the teacup hitting the saucer pierced the silence. "You can't be serious. You're about to become the face of the Turner Group's expansion in Europe, and you're telling me you've tied yourself to a single mother?" Alex's voice trembled, but he didn't back down. "She's not just a single mother. She's the woman who stayed when everyone else walked away. The one who made me human again." Mrs. Min rose to her feet, eyes blazing. "Do you realize what this will do to your reputation? To our family?" "Mother," Alex said quietly, "I don't care about reputation anymore. I care about them. Tuna and our child. They're my family now." For a moment, Mrs. Min froze. The steel in her eyes faltered, replaced by something that almost looked like sorrow. "Alex," she whispered, "your father sacrificed everything for this family's name. Don't throw it away." Alex stood, voice firm. "And I'll sacrifice everything to give my child a life built on love, not fear." There was nothing left to say. He walked out, the echo of his footsteps cutting through the cold hallway like thunder. Outside, the morning sun broke through the clouds. Alex exhaled, feeling the weight of his decision settle deep in his heart. He knew the storm was only beginning, but for Tuna, for their unborn child, he was ready to face it all. The morning after Alex's confrontation with his mother, the storm clouds had finally cleared, but inside Tuna's heart, the thunder still raged. She stood by the small window of their modest home, holding the white shirt Alex had worn the night before. The one she had bought him as a gift, the one she had placed next to the pregnancy test. Her eyes softened as she touched the fabric. "He looked so happy," she whispered. But then the whisper broke, her hand trembling. Will he still be happy after what comes next? Henry played quietly on the floor, building towers with his wooden blocks. The little boy's laughter echoed through the room, a fragile melody against the heaviness in her chest. The door opened. Alex stepped in, his suit slightly rumpled, eyes tired yet burning with resolve. "Tuna," he said gently. She turned to him with a faint smile, but the sadness in her eyes betrayed her calm tone. "You saw your mother?" Alex nodded. "Yes, and I told her everything." Tuna froze, her breath catching. "Everything?" "Yes," he replied, his voice steady. "About us, about the baby." Her fingers tightened around the shirt. "And what did she say?" She said I was ruining the family, Alex said softly, walking toward her. But I told her I'd rather ruin everything than lose you again. Tuna's lips parted, but no words came out. She stared at him, eyes glistening. Alex, why do you always choose the hardest path? He reached out, brushing a strand of hair from her face. Because it's the only path that leads back to you. For a moment, time seemed to stop. The air around them felt still, fragile, as if one wrong word could shatter everything they had built. Tuna turned away, walking slowly to the window. You don't understand, she said, her voice breaking. You can give up your position, your wealth, your reputation for me. But what if one day you wake up and regret it? What if you look at me and see everything you lost? Alex stepped forward, gently taking her hand. The only thing I regret, he whispered, is all the time I spent believing love was weakness. She turned, tears sliding down her cheeks. You're the CEO, Alex. People will talk. They'll say I trapped you. He shook his head. Let them talk. I know the truth, that you're the only person who ever gave me something money could never buy. Peace. Henry, sensing the tension, toddled over and wrapped his tiny arms around Tuna's legs. She looked down at him, her heart softening. The child's innocent eyes seemed to hold the answer she had been too afraid to face. Alex knelt down, placing a hand on Henry's small shoulder. I'll protect both of you, he said quietly. I don't care if the world turns its back on me. As long as I have this family, I'll never be alone. Tuna bit her lip, overwhelmed. The weight of all the years of struggle, the loneliness, the whispers, the fear, finally began to melt away. She fell to her knees, pulling Alex and Henry into her arms. I don't know what the future holds, she whispered through her tears, but I believe in you. I believe in us. Alex held her close, his hand resting gently over her belly. Then that's all I need. Outside, the first sunlight broke through the clouds, illuminating their small home with a golden glow. For the first time in a long time, Alex felt at peace. The empire he once built from ambition now felt meaningless compared to the fragile, beautiful family in his arms. He didn't know what tomorrow would bring. Battles, criticism, maybe even loss. But he knew one thing for certain. Love, when chosen with conviction, was stronger than any storm. And as he looked at Tuna and Henry, he silently vowed that no matter what came, he would never let go of them again. The next morning, the city was buzzing with rumors. Photos of Alex leaving the company headquarters with Tuna and little Henry had gone viral. Headlines screamed, CEO Turner abandons corporate empire for single mother. In the Turner household, the atmosphere was heavy. Reporters gathered outside the gate, their cameras flashing like lightning. Inside, Mrs. Min sat on the couch, her face pale but composed, scrolling through the flood of online comments. Do you see this? She snapped as Alex entered the room. You've turned the Turner family into a scandal. Alex stood quietly for a moment, his expression calm but resolute. Mother, this is not a scandal, it's my life. Your life, she hissed. You've thrown away everything for that woman, a woman with a child. Alex stepped forward, his voice firm. That child is my son in every way that matters. And Tuna, she saved me, Mother. When I was sick, when I was lost, she stayed. Mrs. Min's eyes flickered with emotion. but she quickly masked it with anger. "You are the head of Turner Corporation. You have a responsibility." "I do," Alex replied. "My responsibility is to live truthfully, not behind masks and lies. You taught me to protect what I love. Now I'm doing exactly that." The silence in the room grew thick. For the first time, Mrs. Min had no words. That afternoon, Alex called for a press conference. The hall was filled with journalists and flashing cameras. Tuna sat quietly in the back, clutching Henry's tiny hand, her heart pounding. Alex took the stage, looking out over the sea of faces. "I know many of you have questions," he began, his voice steady. "But today, I'm not here to talk about business or profits. I'm here to talk about love, the kind that doesn't bow to judgment or status." He paused, glancing at Tuna, whose eyes shimmered with tears. "This woman," he said, his tone soft but powerful, "stood by me when the world turned away. She didn't care about titles or money, only about the man I was underneath. And for that, she has my heart, my loyalty, and my name." The room fell silent. Cameras clicked, but no one spoke. Alex turned toward Tuna, walked down from the podium, and took her hand in front of everyone. "Tuna," he said, his voice trembling slightly, "will you marry me? Again, this time in front of the world?" Tuna gasped, her hands covering her mouth as tears streamed down her cheeks. The crowd erupted into applause. In that moment, the headlines changed. CEO Turner chooses love over legacy, a family born from courage. And as flashlights glowed around them, Alex knew he had made the only choice that truly mattered.
Sau bao nhiêu biến cố, CEO Alex đối mặt với dư luận khi hình ảnh của anh rời khỏi công ty cùng trưởng Ne và bé Henry lan truyền khắp mạng. Bị mẹ phản đối gay gắt, Alex vẫn kiên định. Con không đánh mất sự nghiệp, con chỉ chọn sự đánh thật với trái tim mình. Trước áp lực truyền thông, Alex tổ chức họp báo công khai tình yêu với trưởng Ne, người phụ nữ từng nên anh ngày bệnh tật và cô đơn nhất. Anh nắm tay giữa chó lò và tuyên bố cô ấy là người duy nhất khiến tôi là người đầu. Cả khang vỗ tay vỡ òa trong tiếng vỗ tay. Tình yêu của họ đã chiến thắng định kiến và quyền lực.